Okay, I think I finally figured out how to record live landscape style. Okay, let me see if I can watch so that I can see comments. Let's see, YouTube. Okay, I think I can see comments. Yes. I'm going to have to learn to weed out the scammers or whatever you call the ones that pop on there like they're not supposed to be. All right. I'm working on a painting of a white-tailed, I believe it's a white-tailed deer. And I tried to live stream earlier, the beginning of it, and it did not record. So I don't know what the issue was. But I do know, after thinking about it, I want to add the background to this. This will be a white-tailed deer with anything fancy, just green with blotches to kind of get the idea that there's stuff behind him. But the reference photo for this I cannot show you. It is on, what is the name of the group? It is on YouTube Live. I'm sorry, my brain. It is on the Facebook group, Free Reference Photos for Artists. So feel free to go to that Facebook group, Free Reference Photos for Artists, and do a quick search for deer or white-tailed deer. And I believe Linda McMillan is the photographer for this. Now, I can show you the artwork, but the way the copyright works on those reference photos is I can't show you the original photo. So be patient with me. I am learning how to do this today. I'll be back painting live tomorrow on the same painting because I want to get this down. I want to learn how to do it. By January 1st, I want to have this all figured out so that I can start painting live with you guys. See if I can work on. I usually mix my greens, but I have this green left over from a previous class I took that requested that we have green, that particular green available. Now, I don't remember the names of my watercolors. I tend to just mix and paint. The way I work is I have several blues, several reds, several yellows, and several neutrals or browns. And I use those to mix any color I want. And with some practice, you can do it. It doesn't matter the exact shades. They are Winsor and Newton professional watercolor paints. Also, I use the Winsor & Newton Designer White Gouache for little touches later. Okay, I think I want a touch of red in there. You can play around with your watercolors, get to know them. The actual colors are not what matters. I know they're starting out, that can kind of mess with your mind, but I've got cool and warm colors of each of these, and I mix them. I usually also just mix my greens. Now let me see if I can, let's see, I want some dark in here. Now one way to do this would be to wet the full background and then drop in the green. I'm being a little lazy today. Let's see, I want a little red. Another reason why I like mixing my own colors instead of purchasing them is that I like my colors to vary. I even mix my own black. And I don't mix enough of it for a full painting. I know a lot of watercolor artists will tell you to be sure and mix enough for your painting so that you have it, but I paint in the natural world, wildlife, nature, and Rarely do you see something when the light's hitting it as all one exact shade. So I mix as I go. You see here, I'm just throwing in some greens. This is just a foundation layer anyway. I will pull out things and add color as I go. Let's see here. Let's throw in a little there. You can even mess up some edges. You can use your rag. I use this old ugly rag, but I prefer that because it's washable. Let me go with some heavier water here and lighter color. Now normally I would have this taped down to a little wood board, but as luck would have it, while I'm traveling, I couldn't get it in my suitcase, and I wasn't paying extra to bring it on the airplane. So, let's see here. Like I said, you can easily use water for the background and add this in. This is all going to be different eventually anyway, because I'm just mapping out this painting right now, but I like the way the green brings out the browns. Okay, I have foundation there. Now, my reference photo has this mostly whites and blacks, but I think it's because it looks like the reference photo was taken in low light and lightened up, and there's light behind it in the green. So I'm gonna do that somewhat because that will bring this forward. But I'm not happy with that. Let's go over here. Get some color marked in on this little guy. I don't want too much color. Oops, I need some green over there, don't I? But I'm just wanting to get some color on here. Now I do use white gouache in some areas, but I also want to make sure my highlights aren't too dark. So you see me mixing a lot of water in it. I believe this color here is sepia. My neutrals are sepia, burnt umber, and and sienna, burnt sienna. So those are the browns of the neutrals I use. And I kind of just mix and match them up. Okay, throw in some darker here. Like I said, this is my foundation layer. I'm just getting the color out, making sure I leave areas for highlights. And I'll darken as we go. Whoops, I need a little green in that corner, don't I? Now I've marked out my 8 by 10, so I know where I'm at on my edges. And the pencil is a little darker on this one than normal because I wanted y'all to be able to see it. Let's see, let's work a little bit on the eye detail. My favorite brushes right now, that I go back and forth on them, are the Princeton Aqua Elite. Feel free to use any brush you have available, but I like the small detail brushes. This one's a 5.0. And I've mixed, to get my blacks, I always mix one of the neutrals with blue and one of the blues and one of the reds. That will give me black. And I vary how I mix it because I like to vary the shade of black in my painting. Let's see here. See if I can define this nose a little bit here. go. Now this will dry lighter, and my black is always going to be in lots of layers. I'll start out the darker areas, just mapping them out here. And each layer, I'll do a little more, and eventually you will see one area kind of darkening up to pure black, and most of it somewhere between black and gray with blues and reds and brown highlights depending on the animal. Okay, I know I want that kind of there. Now I've drawn more than I normally draw because I wanted you guys to be able to see it. Let's see here. I think I'm going to stop there for right now. Let that dry. And even though this is a base layer, and I'm going to be covering most of this up, I do tend to like to draw in or paint here in the directions that my work, or like the fur or feathers, whatever it is I'm painting, is going. Okay, this little guy, I want to add some dark here. I believe right about up in here. I'm sorry I can't show you the reference photo, but like I said, you can go get your own reference photo. And I promise you, I see the shake in the video. I am going to tomorrow make sure that I hook that up to something other than my table so it doesn't shake. This is, I don't have my regular tripod with me. I have a travel one with me because I am not at home. See here, that probably goes right about in here. Yes, I know I could be using a bigger brush here, but I'm just not wanting to fully paint this yet. Kind of just want to map out the shape. You know how the deer have the small little top of the face. There we go. Let me see if I can. I'll tell you, every painting I do is just like trial and error. I don't follow an exact, precise formula. I do have some method to my madness here, but not completely. Still using my little detail brush. You can move to a bigger brush if you want. I'm not quite ready to do that. There, that kind of shows the right of the face here. Let's let me see here. See if we can define the eye a little better here. Just give it where some shadows are going to go later. See what we got over here. There will be a bunch of eyelashes, so that eye will make a little more sense later. Okay, let's come under the eye over here. Yes, I know I make my sounds, but it works. Like I said, I'm sorry for the shake. I'll fix that tomorrow. Now, I have a lot more lessons over on my Patreon I think I have one or two over on Skillshare. I know I have how to make products over on Skillshare. But I don't remember if I have any painting lessons over there. Okay. Need to move to my bigger brush. Actually, I'm just going to move to this rigger. I do not like this brand. It's a cheap brand, but it does the trick for now. Now this will dry later. Let's see. This little guy, I'm not happy with him too much the way he is. That's a little better. You need to be thicker. And over here. Okay, I'm not going to get into too much detail. I'm still in my foundation layer here. I don't want to detail it out. I'm just mapping out this little guy. Let's see. If you hear anything in the background, I'm pet sitting. He's making a little noise back there. Like I said, I'm sorry for the shake. I see this camera shaking. There's not much I can do about it today. Okay. Let me see here. Okay, that should be good for, well, make sure I remember to shadow that out. I'll work on the ears later. Okay, I want this background to dry. I need the brick to dry. So this is it for now. I will catch up with you tomorrow. Come back, just check throughout the day. I will be going live just sporadically between, probably on a daily or almost daily basis between now and January 1st as I work on some paintings. But I will promise you I will get consistent and narrow it down to a nice day of the month or day of the week and everything after January 1st. In the meantime, I'm working the kinks out of this system. I'm a little slow learner, so I thought I would give myself a break and just learn the process. I'll see you tomorrow.